Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LXF Radio. It is the birthday of my beloved sister Shelby. Hi, how you doing, girl?
Shout out, baby
And
Branson.
we are here to break down the Week 2 action in the LXF landscape, or at least the survivors of it. I am here with El Señor Lampago.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te va la vida?
Bien. I am, of course, Imaris Mussorgsky. And we are here, first off, to settle a couple bets we made over the weekend. They specifically involve the water upon ourselves. And I made a bold bet that that one guy would overcome his slight point disadvantage to beat you this week, sir. And for a bunch of reasons, that didn't quite happen.
I thought I was going to do my bet first. Let me do my bet first. Do you have the screen matching? Does it look like this? Do you see Mr. Hopkins on the screen?
I do.
If I'm pointing this way, am I pointing at him this way, or is he down?
No. Down.
He's this way?
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins. Sean got really hot and bothered by DeAndre Hopkins, and he said, he's going to be the number one. He's going to be the number one overall this season. He's going to be number one next week. He's going to be number one in my heart for the rest of my life. Sean was all about DeAndre Hopkins, and so I said, okay, I'm going to say he's not the number one receiver, which is a really cowardly way to bet that because only one person could be number one. Well,
and
lots of other people
we decided on a different bet.
And then we decided that I'll just pick someone who I like better. And I really like Davante Adams against the Detroit defense.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the score of that game. They got savaged. I mean, it was like 40-something to 20, or it was bad.
And Adams was quiet all throughout this game early on. He wasn't getting targeted at all. And I was just begging the second half. I was watching it unfold. It's like, can't wait for this second half. And then I saw that he came up with the injury. And I thought, wait, remember, Sean's cowardice said that if a player gets injured, it doesn't play too. Sean's fear of injury said that if someone plays 2 quarters, or you said they have to play at least 2 quarters, and then if they get injured, the bet's on. But if they get injured in the first 2 quarters, bet's canceled. So I thought maybe I'm safe. When did he get hurt? He got hurt on the 3rd play of the 3rd quarter. So as early as possible to keep the bet valid. Davante Adams, very poor performance. I'm not sure what even happened to him before the injury, why he wasn't being targeted. Maybe there was some kind of injury beforehand. Have you heard anything on that, Sean?
No, I know he'd been working through something earlier in the week beforehand, but then it didn't stop him from dropping a 40-burger in fantasy points on Minnesota. Yeah. So
this was very confusing. Okay. Very confusing to see.
I don't think it was confusing at all. By the time the 3rd quarter rolled around, they were blowing out Detroit.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a close game anymore. Aaron Jones was eating their soul like Mostert did in the playoffs. And they didn't need him. They probably saw the bloody landscape that was the rest of the NFL, and they're like, today's cursed. Just don't put him back out there. If you feel you have a twitch in your toe, you're sitting down and we're putting in extras. And they just let Aaron Jones do his thing. Have the 3rd highest yardage total in just after contact yards. That was gross.
So it turned out your boy Hopkins was not the number one. This is the week.
No,
can you see this,
Calvin.
Okay?
Yeah, I can.
Calvin Ridley had a great week.
Ridiculous. Stephon Diggs blew up. My boy Scary Terry.
A lot of wide receivers scored more, but I picked the wrong one at Davante Adams, which was the opposite.
To be fair, I don't think you'd have taken any of these guys.
Nope, I wouldn't have picked any of these guys. I see. I even Tyreek Hill, I don't think I would have taken.
Tyreek Hill got a long play that helped him save.
Yeah,
get
and that Chargers defense.
Yeah,
we learned some things about them. Yes,
they were actually quite good. I don't know what happened in that game. That game was really weird. I watched a lot of that. Maybe they just did a great job of shutting Mahomes down.
So I'd be happy to do another bet with you in the future, but for now, I've lost this one. So bottoms up. I'm going to take my headset off for a second, so I won't be able to hear you, unfortunately. So you can make hand gestures, point and laugh. Cheers to you.
Go.
All right, right here at the camera.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Savor that flavor.
Down my back.
Oh, yeah, you need it a little bit down the crack. Got to wash that swamp ass out, or at least get it started. You're in Arizona. You need the hydration.
I'm not happy.
Swamp ass is coming for you.
Oh, okay. This is great.
I think you made it worse.
Got a lot on my lap here.
Ah,
I don't know if you can see
yeah.
more. I'm going to dry my ears before I can put my headset back on.
That's what I wanted the whole time.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, a towel?
For me, Sean. Introduce your
What?
bet.
No. Stop. No towel. No towel. That's bullshit.
Can't hear you till I get this back on.
No towel. No towel.
No towel?
No towel. You
gotta
gotta rewater.
I'm going to get electrocuted.
Okay. Did you just do the ears? If you just did the ears, I'm willing to be fine with it.
Should I show you my crack here too? Because
oh yeah, it's coming.
Apparently, it all went into my pants.
It's like the fantasy gods heard my prayers, and even though I couldn't pocket you, they still got the deed done. Makes me pretty happy.
That is a wet ass Lumpago. Okay, well, it's kind of refreshing. I am outside in Arizona. I'll be dry in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I got good news for you anyway. We get to cover my water bet next, and we get to make you very happy at the same time because we're not only starting our review of how the games went down, we get to start with your favorite one and see how things went for me at the same time. I thought that he could do it. The combined efforts of 2 kickers, 1 punt would be able to overcome you. I did not expect you getting 80 points out of 2 guys. And that right there,
I had some real heroes that saved my week.
You had 2 heroes and a bunch of 2 heroes, 3 guys doing their job, and a bunch of people just kind of yeah.
So this whole game, this game came down like so close at the end. It doesn't look close at the final score, but he had
it was
the defense of the Patriots, and they scored a touchdown within the first couple minutes, must have been, and their score was up at 20. They were projected to get 30 points, and it was really, really close. These projections
bad.
On Sleeper are terrible. These percentages and these projections are always just so terrible and not.
It's correct. Why I don't pay attention to them.
The other cute thing I did was I started Sammy Watkins, who I just traded for, and I thought, man, he has this big upside. My person who I would have started instead of him would have been Corey Davis, who scored 12 points. So the whole time I was looking at that and thinking, oh, God, I just threw away 10 points. Probably everyone would have told me that, but I got a little cute there. And I had to watch the Sunday night game with Cam Newton and just pray that he would save me. And guess what? He did.
Yeah, actually.
So Cam Newton saved me, and Russell Wilson also saved me by launching 5 touchdowns and destroying that 20 points on that defensive scoring for that one guy over there. And so that was a big game for me. That was my savior game.
Yeah, the story of that game was the Newton bomb went off again, but not just for a good rushing game, also a stalwart 300 yards passing. Aaron Jones ate the Lions' soul to the tune of 16 touches for 168 yards on the ground, 4 of 8 for 68 yards and a touchdown through the air. Don't forget those 3 touchdowns.
Does this game change?
On the ground?
I'm sorry. You can see it's 2 touchdowns on the ground and 1 through the air for Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
But before we move on from Cam Newton, does this change how you look at Cam Newton this year?
No, this is exactly what we were worried about he could be if he balled out behind a smart Belichick offense. It didn't work out at the end of the game for them, but as you saw, the offense is working. Yeah.
And they called the play for him too, which is, I think, very positive. I don't think anyone else got a goal line carry besides Cam Newton.
No, he is the number 1 running back for that team.
So this is why I drafted him. He was going in like the 13th round. I took him in the 10th just to make sure I could get him. Because I saw that upside of running quarterback. Bill Belichick's going to figure out how to use him.
And he's super paying off.
Yeah, so that's big time for me. Aaron Jones is a big hero for me too. We saw games like this last year down the stretch, and that was the thought: is A.J. Dillon going to take a bunch of time here? Is it a timeshare? And
not yet.
Happy to see that. This really bumps Jones up in my mind for me too into like a top 12 RB. easily, maybe
Well,
even
you
top
now
top
that's
8.
where that's what you drafted him at, and now you know that your price is probably going to be worth it.
Well, I got them with the second round pick, which means they're outside of the top 8 running backs. Um, but yeah, so we'll yet to be determined. He's still up there, and a lot of people in that top are no
Yeah,
longer with
things
us.
were yeah. Uh, it did work out for you, but things were close, as you said. It wasn't all bad for Ian. His running backs showed up.
Yeah.
He had Sanders with 141 combined yards, including a touchdown, but he did fumble once. Montgomery looked great for 124 combo yards and a touchdown himself. Adams leaving in the third absolutely hobbled him. Again, I don't think they needed him, and that's why he went out. It's just that really sucks to lose your first-round draft pick to an injury. It's very, very difficult. After that, he had a worrisome week 1, but DJ Moore is back. He had 8 catches on 13 targets for 120 yards. That was delicious.
I see him getting probably more too now that Christian McCaffrey's down. They're going to have to target some
They got to pass it to someone. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good haul right there. What about this guy?
Ooh, I would love to wax poetic about him, but I am currently finishing the article I have on him about, and it is going to be the first of my Astronomy 101 series about rising stars and how Noah Fant's pretty much passed that. He went up against a great defense over the weekend and didn't stop him any. So I will be having many wonderful things to say about him later on.
Now, I think you mean astrology, not astronomy. I think that's what you should do. You should use like horoscopes. All right, moving on. I also traded for Goddard. I was looking for that. I'm looking for a solution to that tight end there, and Goddard's been getting targets. He still has been getting targets. That's what I like to see. That's all you can ask for a tight end is if they get 8 or 9 targets, it's really great. He didn't get a touchdown this time, but I think I'm going to start
him next week. You need to stop complaining and just be happy you have all these healthy people, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. To win your league this week, just if none of your players got injured, you're just in a good spot. Ingram, I felt like he looked great. He ran a lot of routes. I don't know if you watched this game, but he was out there running routes.
3 targets
and targeted for passes. But he ran a lot of routes too. So he's out there. He's lining up as a wide receiver sometimes.
Everyone's out there lining up as a wide receiver out there.
Yeah. So I was a little bit worried from last week about the lack of usage, but this kind of cements it for me that he's going to be used. He was out there with the first team when
your audio's getting real choppy on me, sir. I'm hearing a electric buzz along with it. A old school tappity tap, like it's coming from a. Is it
telegraph?
Yeah. There you go.
I could turn off the headset if you want and go with the internal mic.
Yeah, let's do that because that's coming through pretty harsh for us, sir. And we need to really wrap this up. I know you love talking about your team, but I figure I could just water myself and we could move on to the next game if that's all right with you. All right, let's get this party started.
Proceed. Mr. Moose.
Try and talk everyone through this. We're applying the water now. I got it in a wonderful New Belgium glass. I got it at one of my favorite tap rooms around here. I look forward to them being open again. Second shout out ever to the Capital Hop Shop. Yeah, let's get wet. Purified water, little bit chill. It's kind of muggy in here. It's not going to help things. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
So much more. So much more than you originally expect.
Oh.
Did I get it all out? I think I got it all out.
That Sean hair and beard that Moose hair and beard just absorbed everything. I feel like he got off easy. And while Sean dries his ears, let's bring up our next game.
Yeah.
So I have a riddle for you, Sean. In the League of Extraordinary Frenemies, when you are the second highest scoring team on the week, what do you get?
You get a loss. That's what you get.
You get a loss.
you get to lose.
Yes.
That has been true for 2 weeks now. The second highest scoring, and this is always the trope they talk about in fantasy, is the second highest scoring person, then you lose, and you would have beat every other team.
Yeah,
and
by 20 points. I know, I was the third highest scoring team.
Love fantasy. Love fantasy. It's great. All right, what would you like to say about this game, Sean?
I'd like to say you can hear everything that was going to happen in this game called in my Ultimate Showdown of Week 2 video. That's what I have to say about this game.
All right. So,
what do you have to say?
We knew this was going to be top heavy here. Dak came through. Henry, I don't know. This makes me worry about Tennessee in general. Is making me worry right now. Their offense does not seem to be working.
Jacksonville okay?
I don't know yet.
You didn't even watch that game. You did.
I watched only parts of it. I didn't watch all of most
so
games.
You don't know that Jacksonville was in that game the entire time, and it took a near Herculean Tannehill effort to get them out of it.
So this is a positional breakdown on Fantasy Pros here about how many points they give up to each position here. And you can see the greens here are the easy matchups.
Oh, but it's through 2 weeks, man. These numbers suck.
Yeah. But these are the trends on the 2 weeks, and that's what we're trying to decide. Is this team for real or not? And we can see
they're not terrible, is what we can see already.
They're not. They're not. Good matchup here, QB. They seem to give up their points to the QB and the tight end. But, yeah, like you're saying.
They get in shootouts is what that's telling me.
Yeah, they're getting in shootouts. And maybe those rookies are clicking faster than we thought they would on Jacksonville.
Possibly.
Other things. So they really didn't get much, I guess. JTT is very nice. He's got the backfield himself. Hines wasn't even a thought. He had 26 carries.
David Johnson was, in fact, held to 3 yards per carry.
Another strange thing, we thought David Johnson was for real last week, and then, well, maybe it's just a Baltimore thing happening. Calvin Ridley. I made fun of the Calvin Ridley explosion, but here it is. It seems like he's the number one now. What do you think about that, Sean?
I think teams have to put so many resources into watching Julio Jones that Atlanta finally figured out how to utilize the excellent talent that is Calvin Ridley. And now you're going to see teams eventually start putting more guys on him, and that means Julio's going to have a big day. But as you saw from week 1, Julio and Calvin Ridley are both perfectly capable of having successful fantasy days. That I don't think there's any impact to each other.
You think this lack of targets was due to the defense being good?
I think it was due to the defense not being good. You saw how many points were scored in that game. I don't think the defense was good at all. I do think that they committed a safety to him every time and not towards where Ridley was. And that allowed him to get one-on-one matchups and win because Dallas' secondary isn't very good.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing here a possible hamstring injury bothering him.
It's always like that. It always seems like he's dinged up, and unless it's an actual major injury, he's going to play. So they're just being careful with their star receiver. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Darren Waller, this came down because it's the Monday night game. He needed 15 points to win the matchup, and he did it.
He did it for the song.
I mean, I guess the Raiders are good now.
That we're gonna have to talk about that on Weather Watch. Yeah, save that one. We're gonna have to get back to that.
He scored more than a good Kelsey game here at 24 points, and he finished him off. Which, yeah, that was a fun cliffhanger at the end of the week to watch happen.
Yeah, the Cup Woods matchup was fun. CeeDee Lamb showed up for him in a big time. His Miller time bet did not go his way, though.
No, that didn't work out well.
Unlike the Deontay Johnson last-minute switch, which turned out fantastic.
I like Deontay Johnson right now. I feel like he's getting the targets. I like to see that. That's all you can ask for, right? And when he gets the touchdowns, he's going to have these big games. So if you drafted him, that's a huge value right now.
Yep.
He could be the one on the team. Anything else thought-wise?
And their Bears were ridiculous. Almost.
Yeah.
The song called 6 Sacks, but we're so close. But yeah, amazing matchup. We both agreed this was going to be the game of the week. It did not disappoint. It was ridiculous.
Yep, came down to the last quarter.
Yeah, how
and
many?
Ryan's a big.
Hang on, let's do a count. Scroll down. I want to see how many teams scored or how many players scored over 20 points. 1, 2. Keep going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and some close ones.
7
here.
over
17,
20.
18.
12 of them over 15. This was just a huge. Their teams have a lot of talent on them.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think you're. This is what we're expecting out of the Dallas offense. Is just everything, just throwing out everything. But you are not going to see him run in 3 touchdowns again like that.
To run 3 touchdowns. Yeah, and the icing on the cake here for Mr. OnePlus was that he's a big Raiders fan. Oh, wait. No, that was the other guy.
Yes.
Was it?
Way to know your friends.
His husband was the big Raiders fan then? I saw some things posted. All I'm saying. Okay. Anything else you want to say about this game?
Let's move on to the next one. It was great, but it is now over.
And now moving on to teams that didn't score very well, but
click the versus button.
What's going on here?
Click the versus button.
It changed. Here we go. All right, so we have our resident cheesehead, Mr. Cloud here versus Super Possum. With Russell 5 touchdown, Cook and Wilson here.
Yeah, let me hit this real quick. I got some things set up here already. That let's start with Possum. Russ got a Cook for 288 yards and 5 freaking touchdowns. His boy DK got 4 of 6 of those for 92 yards and a touchdown. Robinson is the man in Jacksonville for 101 yards, a touchdown, 3 of 4 in the receptions for 18 yards. But his running back core may be a little bit of a problem because his guys, Kenyon Drake and Joe Mixon, were both drafted in his corner spot at the 12, and it's been rocky roads for those two. They have not had auspicious beginnings, but he's in that position where you have to start him. As for Mr. A Crowd, I mean, what can you say, man? You lose Saquon for the year. It happened to me in another league. I had him as well. Is Devontae Freeman the answer? They're going to try and sign him. I think all the other teams passed on him for a reason, maybe, but, who knows? Maybe the help of a full Gaskin will help fuel Chase's devastated running back core, as he got 7 carries for 46 yards, 6 receptions for 36 in Miami. He has a major problem, though, as to why he lost this week. That would be 5 positions combining for 26 points. That's bad. That's very not good. What do you have to say about that, sir?
I feel like this is always a trap. You shouldn't have drafted Hooper. You could have gotten this off of the waiver wire.
He picked the wrong Cleveland guys to get. No, Cleveland worked out for people. If you had Chubb, Hunt, OBJ, you're a happy man. It's just everyone else is no.
As the Ingram owner, I was happy to see this 2 carries here for Dobbins.
2 carries for 48 yards.
Good carries.
Yeah.
They didn't give him more. When the game's on the line, they don't go to Dobbins.
The game was never on the line.
Well, when it's close.
Okay, and if it's not close because they're blowing out all their games?
And I also want to say Mr. Cloud here, Mr. Cheesehead Cloud, is the savvy move of just picking up Devontae Freeman, who was not locked because he didn't play because he's not on a roster.
He's not on a roster, yes.
He just freely picked him up.
Technically correct, the best kind of correct.
Was Will Fuller a surprise out?
It must have been.
Oh, it just says he was not targeted.
No, just not targeted. Wow.
That's the game with the hamstring, so more injuries on this.
Yay, another one to add to my week 2 list. I went through the IR of what's happened in the last, or since the 15th of this month. It's disgusting. It's really, 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 really bad.
So both sides really underperformed in this game. Like Joe Mixon,
neither team is happy with themselves right now.
Yeah, this is rough, and they probably wouldn't have won against anyone else.
No, literally against anyone else.
Yeah, especially with these zeros. So that's a lucky win here that Super Possum gets to score 121.
That's a
win,
huge win, though,
and
to have
Mr.
a bad
One
week.
Mr. One Plus scores 180 and loses. Though the other
We
thing I
call
want
it
to say
fantasy
about
football.
Cheesy Cloud here, Mr. Cheesehead, is that he was, well, last year we had this big controversy about everyone who didn't have a good keeper wanted to take the keepers away from the league, which we had a keeper league for 6 years, I think. So it passed and we removed keepers. Saquon Barkley was someone's keeper, and Mr. Cheesy Chase here was the one who was really leading this charge. And it just goes to show you that you just can't predict who's going to be good. I felt like the same way with Todd Gurley years ago. We felt like he was going to be good for so many years, and in a keeper league, he's just like the cheat code. And then he's gone. And that's just the nature of football. When you commit to have that player on your team, you just never know what's going to happen. But yeah.
All right, that answers that question. You are still bitter about that.
Well, I was a little bitter, but I kind of felt like this week was the karma of the universe just coming down unfairly on the players for the sins of their fantasy owners in our league.
Yeah, you're a terrible person for saying that. Moving on.
Poor players. They didn't deserve this. Moving on. We have the Brett Lock versus the Heterage. Okay, so Lamar Jackson, kind of an underwhelming floor performance. Drew Brees looked not great. This was really worrisome. He didn't have Michael Thomas to throw to. We thought we'd see some Emmanuel Sanders. We saw none of that.
If I can real quick, I have some stats on specifically that for us.
You want me to go to Brees?
No, you don't have to. I have them right in front of me. You can look at whatever you want. Brett, what happened with him? A quiet night for Lamar Jackson. He only had 1 passing TD, 0 rushing TDs, held to 53 yards on the ground. That's not easy to do. Jacobs, he had 27 rushes, which is great, 88 yards. Oh, not bad, but 3 of 3 for the targetings for only 17 yards. After last week, you kind of hoped for a little bit more, and he got vultured, full-on vultured twice when they got actually within scoring range. And after that, Bronk, healthy, missing in action from the scoring range, just not what's going on there. I told him, it's like, you need to start thinking about moving on from there. He's like, it's going to be fine. I'm like, okay, but if it doesn't work this week when it should totally work, you need to think about hitting the panic button. Now is the time for that panic button. Another panic button concern is no Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, only 3 targets.
Yeah.
But targets to the wide receiver was the problem in the first place. Here's some Drew Brees action for you. 312 yards. Yes. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 14.48 fantasy points. 15 of his 38 passes went to the wide receiver. That is a little over 40%. That's not a lot. Meanwhile, 14 passes, just 1 less, were just to running backs. Is this the new Saints? Do they not throw deep anymore? Will you not get deep Breeze bombs except for when a massive bust in coverage happens? And do they even trust him now to get the ball out in those situations?
I'm going to say no to all your questions, Sean.
Yeah.
And this is the reason you don't spend draft capital on a quarterback, because then you feel obligated to play them.
Especially not a 40-year-old
quarterback.
quarterback.
Like you can't drop this guy, right? If you own Breeze right now, would you drop him?
I feel like you can, but you're not
would you
going
drop him
to.
For Tannehill?
Right now, yeah. Tannehill looks great.
But that's a hard thing to do when you spend draft capital on him.
You have to put blinders on to the history to be able to do that. And that's normally something you're told not to do. Hey, don't do that. If you ignore history, you're doomed to repeat it. Well, sometimes if you don't ignore history, you are doomed to repeat it in just a different way. You gotta occasionally be a rebel.
I've done this to myself where I tell myself I'm not going to draft a quarterback, and then I see that value and I pick it up, and I just feel like I always regret it. So yeah, good luck there, Heteraj, with that one and those decisions. Does he have any backup quarterback on his bench? Would you play Wentz over him? Ugh.
No, God, no. I'd get rid of Wentz too. Wentz hasn't been great either. What Jareth has going for him is he was saved. He had, like you, two people came to his rescue. One of them was the Hig Beast going off for 3 TDs on just 5 catches and 54 yards.
Yeah.
28-point day right there. And then Alvin went full Super Camario, 13 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 of 9 receptions for 98 yards. He basically had a third of all of Drew Brees' pass yards for the day.
And this is great
and
when you're getting
a quarter of all his passes.
Here. You're getting 2 players in one here. You're getting a starting wide receiver and a running back, and that's why you paid up for Kamara.
I had a man like that once.
Yep.
We'll get to that. All right, let's move along here. These two guys have suffered enough.
Okay, moving along here to Jay Brand and Wagon Stance. Let's see. So we agreed on the which ones were we wrong on our picks? Because we agreed on all of our picks except for mine.
We can go over that at the end real quick. Let's power through here. This one ended up. We both took Jared for this one, and it didn't quite work out. But then again, things didn't work out long term for Dwagon Stance as Raheem Mostert will miss some time. Patrick Mahomes did all that work there. All those points were in the second half, 100%.
So here,
Raheem Hines, there you go. Look at that. That massive drop to earth. That just Icarian style fall from heaven. Brutal.
This was ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some idiot on the show was calling him the next Austin Eckler last week, and it was just, I don't know. I thought he was misguided and foolish. So let's move on.
Oh, hey, you remember when you were saying that you didn't think Kareem Hunt was very good?
Yeah, I didn't. And he proved me wrong here. I guess Cincinnati is someone he could run on because I believe both him and Chubb had a pretty good day.
They blew it up. They were great. They were amazing. Yeah, they were both 20-point backs.
So, that's good information when we're looking at targeting these teams. Targeting Cincinnati on the ground seems to be a very generous. They're just so generous here. 22 attempts for Chubb and 10 attempts. So that was only 10 attempts for Hunt. He came through with that touchdown and the receiving touchdown on 2 targets. Very cool. Yeah, that's the kind of game. That's why you start Hunt every week. You're looking for that boom.
Yeah,
and he got it there. What about Zeke? We haven't seen that kind of big takeover. He's still getting. I guess he's getting 22 carries.
He's scored over 20 points back-to-back weeks. What are you bitching about?
I mean, we've seen what he can.
Oh, I'm sorry, because he hasn't blown up for your Aaron Jones game. He can't be compared to him. Please, feel free to go to hell.
Well, he's the kind of running back that will give you those games.
Attempts, targets, everything's there. They just haven't had a game where they need to blow someone out. Don't worry, Cleveland, the Giants, they're up on the schedule.
When do they play Cincinnati? The 14. Oh, that's nice. You get to start the playoffs. People running all over Cincinnati.
Go up against San Francisco's devastated defensive line. That could be better. And Philadelphia sucks too. That's actually a pretty nice fantasy. If he makes it to the playoff, I'd be concerned.
He's gonna run all over everyone. Okay.
His running back core is disgusting. You got to go down.
I thought we'd see Slayton.
I'm very surprised by all those numbers there. Both his wide receivers and Mark Andrews having pedestrian or nothing days. James Conner's back though, so he has 3 top 15 running backs. So
yeah,
that's
looking good there. Looking good there as long as we don't get another disappearing act like we saw there. And what you want to talk about the Benny Snell experience?
Yeah, you're pissed off about it.
Am I?
End of story.
Nah, I'm fine by it. I don't have Snell. This was the 1+ guy he was bragging about, but yeah, negative. I like to stay positive. All right, Henry Ruggs. I thought he would be used more here. This was a very confusing.
They were running all over him. It was nothing but Jacobs and Waller. That was the whole game.
Yeah.
Princess Amendola came back to earth. Kickers were kickers. The defenses. I mean, technically, the Niners defense did well on the day, but that's not going to happen anymore. I am personally feeling hurt constantly at the idea of what happened to our line. It was just I want bad things to happen to that stadium. I feel like it apparently they felt like because the teams there were so bad, the conditions on the field had to be equally bad, and that's just not fair to the people who have to come to visit. Losing Crowder for the weekend was rough. Again, massive injuries. Not James White wasn't an injury. That was very unfortunate. His father passed away over the weekend. That's tragic, and we wish the best for him and his family. Fitzmagic, or I'm sorry, Larry Fitzlegend showing up. Not a bad day, proving he's still trustable in the flex. Jared wishing he had put in Jared Cook in his flex, but he couldn't have known. I mean, it was a nonsense 7-yard touchdown late in the game. That is the only reason he has points, and he's always available for that.
What do you think about the number one quarterback in the league?
I think this is something that you could see regularly. Yeah, this guy.
Well, you've seen this?
I believed in him when I drafted him last year. I believed in him when I drafted him in Dynasty. I have no worries that this guy, you're going to get some not great games out of him. This hot streak will hit a wall at a couple points during the season, but this is what you're going to be looking for in the long term, is that he is progressing and getting better. And with all the natural talents that are behind him, you should be very happy thinking about him as a regular top 10 quarterback going forward, with weeks where he's just going to destroy it.
Here's the funny thing, again, about spending capital on a quarterback. You can't bench Mahomes. So would you tell Mr. Wagon Stance that he needs to put this guy in the trade block as soon as possible? What would you do?
Yeah, but it's not going to work. Quarterbacks are one of the most difficult things to trade in leagues without two quarterback systems, as there are usually plenty.
And you're either going to not get good value for him, or he's going to sit. One of those quarterbacks is going to sit on your bench and clog your roster spot because you can't drop either of them.
Yeah.
So that's the riddle of the steal of two quarterbacks.
However, if something were to happen to Mahomes, he's very well set. Anyway.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Next song.
Jared tried, but it just wasn't enough against a still thrashing Strange Todd Creature team.
So I'll let you take the beginning here if you want to talk about some sad stuff.
Oh, well, I mean,
keeper here.
I have no idea.
I'll let you hang on to him for one season, Mr. Moose.
I love that that's somehow my fault, but it was tragic that on that touchdown run, apparently Christian McCaffrey hurt his ankle, and he has what is being classified as a high ankle sprain. That is generally very bad when it comes to running backs who need those for all their very important cutting moves, which he excels at. He still managed to put up a just delightful day for me, as usual, but I have to find a way now to make up for a huge deficit over the next 4 to 6 weeks before hoping to get him back, and then I have to find out what condition he's in. So just like with Cloud, I'm hurting badly, and I may technically – actually, could you do me a favor? Back out of the Christian McCaffrey thing.
I was counting 6 games out here, and so here week 9, KC's the return estimation.
Yeah.
Mr. Moose, I'm hearing like a bloop bloop. Do you hear that bloop bloop? Is that coming from you?
No. I'm not hearing a bloop bloop.
No, I'm not hearing it either. I'll tell you when I hear it again. There. Did you hear that?
Nope.
Oh, maybe it's just coming on my end then. Okay.
All right, well, kill that, and I need you to scroll down, though. No, on the other side.
Here?
Yeah, down.
This is the bottom of the matchup list.
Yeah, but you should be able to still go down from there.
Here?
Yeah.
You want to see the standings?
Yeah, why doesn't it have the standings on there?
It's on the
That's what it is.
Tab here.
There is one thing I can take solace in, and that is my place at the top of the pack.
Be number one. Yeah, 2-0. It's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. It's probably not going to last, but I will enjoy it while I can. Get a little screenshot in. Remember when times were not so bad. Yeah. But the rest of my team did manage to kick a little bit of ass despite the terrible things that happened to me. Kyler Murray was fantastic, just really, really good. One of the top quarterbacks on the day. Outdueled Matt Ryan, although they were not actually playing. Jerick McKinnon had a 55-yard run on 3rd and 21, which is ridiculous. Or was it 31? I don't know. It was a stupid amount that he should have never got, but he did. And now he's the healthy running back on the team.
Oh, wow. He only got 3 attempts?
Yep.
Wow. So when I looked at this, you were saying, I believe in the Jet. I was thinking, we're probably going to get disappointed by the Jet, but he came through for you right there. Was that after the injury to Mostert?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where he got his opportunity from. Rojo, pretty decent. This one we talked about already. Talked about him.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Atlanta. We'll cover them in the Weather Watch section because that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think I'll have to look, but I think that might be a worse upset than their Super Bowl loss. DeAndre Hopkins, Scary Terry, 20 points. And you know what happened? I made the proper sacrifices to the dark gods. And what I got myself was, for a limited time only, Rule 86 is back. And I don't care what his number is. When healthy, start Jordan Reed.
This was another brave move by you that paid off.
I had to. I knew I was already in trouble. I was in injury concern trouble before then because I lost Kittle week 1. Yeah. DJ Shark had a good day despite still not being able to blow up. And, oh, yes, Paris Campbell hurt in the second quarter.
What's his injury? Ribs? Chest?
Sure. I know he's played through this stuff before.
Did anyone not get injured?
No. Everyone, at least their hearts hurt. Yeah, so Campbell's already on the IR. I've already had to do that. Yeah. That sucks. So I have to find a lot of new starters on the waiver wire. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. Oh, by the way, Tevin Coleman hurt. Philip Lindsay hurt. Keep going down. Yeah. I got more hurt stuff on here. George Kittle hurt. Yeah, that's my team. Injury. They've already said Coleman's probably not going to play this week. So, yes.
He missed the Jonnu.
Yeah. She made a very wise decision backing up her. The thing is, both her tight ends are great. She has a situation where she could consider starting 2 tight ends and not being too worried about it. Yeah. Hunter Henry, man. Yeah, everyone was worried. It's like, oh, he's not going to have a regular target presence in this offense. Who knows what's going to happen? Hunter Henry's been very consistent in yardage and still that threat in the end zone.
Oh, man, look at this guy's neck. Is Jonnu and his neck for real?
Yes. He is a very large man.
I love watching when tight ends get singled up on a quarterback and they just look like they're bullying him. It's real fun. Like Gronk used to be. Okay, any other takeaways here?
Gronk.
Once upon a Gronk. Those were fun years. Any other takeaways here? On your surviving?
We took too long and it got dark. There we go. That's a little bit better. Got a lamp just for this. The takeaways are I'm in trouble. And if I want to stay relevant, I'm going to have to find a way to patch this running back crew. And if I can win half my games over this 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to be okay. I can be okay. The rest of my team's still coming on. I will be dangerous. And honestly, I think my broken down shell of a team can still beat some of the other ones out there. The problem is my schedule coming up sucks.
What's up with your schedule?
Next coming up, I mean, I have a very winnable matchup next week. I think that one I'll be able to find a way to pull out. But after that, week 4 things get I believe weeks 4, 5, and 6, I'm playing all teams who have scored a lot of points. Yeah, see, there we go. That is a problem.
No, that was my guy. Hold on, let me go to league view. Can't you go week by week on here? No, I can only do myself.
You can't bring up another team and then see their schedule? That's unfortunate. You can't on
Maybe if I click on your team's name, it will let me do that. All right, survivors.
I'm looking to break my own personal record of most injuries in a year.
Oh, that is a bad record to have.
Yeah, 13 people sent to the IR.
Wow. It's a great discussion week. Again, not placing any blame, but communism doesn't work. Just doesn't work.
I love that you think that has anything to do with this, but all right.
I remember saying the Sean curse is coming. I was so worried for my boy.
Don't you put that evil on me.
It's the curse of the Joy Bell, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're saying no one should ever have a transaction with you because it only goes poorly.
I don't know why people keep doing it. Yeah, so I don't know why I can't bring up a week-by-week schedule. Do you have any other clicks that I'm missing here? You got it?
No, I'm just going to, yeah, I got it. I'm going to bring it up here in front of me.
Okay.
But yes, I looked for, all I know is I did a quick search of when I was going to play the teams that have been very bad, and I don't play any of them until we start getting close to playoff time. So that's an issue.
Again, only 2 games. We don't really know who's good or bad, except for, Cloud always calls
we know some teams who are good. I disagree with you, sir. I think we know some teams out there are very talented.
Yeah, the top 2 scoring teams from this week and last week are.
We will have to do a power rankings at some point. Okay, after you, it's Dwagon Stance, then Brett, then Super Possum, then Jason, then Jared, and week 9 things get easier as I get to play Heterage. Yes.
So Super Possum, Jason, Behemoth Baller. So you're playing all the top half teams. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Everyone who has a decent record and has put up a bunch of points. Most of the dangerous teams, basically. Yeah. Super Possum, Behemoth Baller, those are big worries for me. Yeah. We'll see what I get out of Dwagon Stance as the current projections are ugly, but that's to be expected with the injury hell I'm in right now. Yeah. So there's a lot to find out, but it will be interesting. I think we should wrap it up here, sir, for the sake of timeliness. Yeah. I suspect we've gone on for some time at this point. I want to thank anyone and everyone who has stuck with us for this part. Expect a couple more fun things this week, and of course, before the games come out, I hope to bring you a ultimate showdown of week 3, which I, as of right now, pretty sure is Ryan versus Zach.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Clarky's Cannabis. You can get them at California connected locations throughout the Sacramento area. And happy birthday, Sheldon. Anything else?
You. Yes. Hate everyone else, especially you, Limbach.